So guys, this is Spindle here, and this is going to be what if Deku could use the Force. Now, this is unscripted like normal, and so without further ado, let's get started. So, Deku at 4 years old would go to the hospital and would find out that he actually does have a quirk. The doctor, Dr. Udiko, would say, your son's quirk is very strange. He's able to tap into a force of some sort. What do you mean? Inko said. Well, it's like he can sort of tap into gravity itself, but it's like he can tap into the physics of objects. As the doctor tried to explain, Deku was ignited and so happy to hear this. That day, Deku trained, and it took him a while, but he made a cup float just the tiniest bit. Inko was on the phone. Yeah, he does have a quirk. She was talking to her husband. He seems to have inherited my quirk. Don't worry, I'm coming soon. I've actually been promoted, and so I'll be able to be working from home from now on. Inko was delighted to hear this. As Deku's dad came home, the two kind of bonded since this is a 4-year-old Deku. I heard you have a quirk. Yes. Who are you? I'm your dad. My dad? Deku felt it was strange to have a dad since he always just had his mum. As the two bonded, Inko started making some supper. The next day, when Deku went back to school, he said, "Oh, Katran, I have a quirk," he said. Katran said, "Really? Okay then, let's see." Deku concentrated. Now just imagine the Star Wars theme song. As he lifts his bag off the ground and puts it in his locker. Whoa, a levitation quirk. Yeah, pretty cool. I mean, I have to focus for a while, but if I train it just enough, I'll be able to carry buildings, hopefully. Not as useless as I thought. It's a good quirk, I'll give you that. Hero quirk? Maybe not. Deku frowned a bit. Bakugo, knowing he'd upset his friend. Maybe not all might quirk, Bakugo said. But you could be a hero. You could be a debris hero like number 13. Deku smiled again. Be like number 13. It does have black holes. My one can levitate things, but okay then, that'll be good. I'll be an assistant hero. The number 1 assistant hero. Bakugo smiled and laughed. Honestly, there's no stopping him. That day he showed the class and they said, "Whoa!" Many people said, "Whoa, your quirk's really amazing. Yeah, it's got so much potential. Wait, can you lift anything?" Deku kept on practicing and showing the class how. What one kid said, "Oh, lift this bottle," as he threw it at Deku. Deku wasn't paying attention, but just knew the bottle was coming. He dodged out the way, and everyone around him said, "Whoa, Deku, how'd you do, Izuku, how'd you do that?" "Do what?" "Oh, dodged." Everyone started looking at Izuku since he just dodged something that he couldn't see or hear. The class kept on throwing things at him, and it actually became a sport. Try and hit Izuku. But every time anything would come even close to him, he would either catch it or dodge it. This would carry on until the day commenced, and Bakugo said, "Whoa, his quirk's actually really cool. But my explosions are still better." The class was split on whose quirk was better. Izuku's, who could, they said, see into the future and levitate things, or Bakugo, who could make explosions. Some people said Izuku since his was more versatile, but Bakugo said, yeah, but mine got way more raw power. The two teachers said, both of your quirks are amazing. Bakugo's has a lot of firepower, literally, and his destructive capabilities are immense if he trains it, but Deku's has a lot more versatility. The two students went home feeling proud. Bakugo knows that, yeah, he does have a quirk, but I can beat him. Even the teacher knows. Now, let's skip to middle school. Izuku finds out more and more things about his quirk. For example, he just has feelings sometimes, like when he was going through a trash pile just because he dropped his notebook and it accidentally went into a car. He thought it was strange how I dropped my notebook, it went into a truck, and I went into a trash pile. As he was looking for his notebook, he found some pieces of metal. They were just random pieces of metal that looked super high tech. And something was just telling him pick it up. He picked up all them pieces of metal and junk that was calling to him. And when he found his notebook, he went home. That day, on his 13th, 13th birthday. On his 13th birthday, his dad gave him something. Here's a crystal. Whoa, a crystal! Those are super rare. Yeah, and it's a really rare crystal. Izuku was above elated and wore around his neck, but he just felt like he needed to do something. Excusing himself, he meditated, as that's what he normally did. It calmed his mind and allowed him to levitate things much more big. And now, back to the song. As Izuku opened his eyes, the chunks of metal that was in his bag had levitated and they were spinning. They then closed together and made the sort of saber hilt thing. The crystal was now gone off of his neck. He didn't even feel it, and was in the saber thing. As Izuku tried to get the crystal out, he pressed a button as a blue lightsaber emerged. Izuku was elated and said, "Dad, look!" as he held it, but not noticing as when he held it and ran through the door, it actually hit the door and went straight through it. Izuku was puzzled and went to the, mechanics? Yeah, let's call it mechanics. He went to the mechanics. They were all awestruck at the technology on display. "Kid, how'd you make this?" I meditated. Whatever you did, we don't even know how to mass produce this thing. That thing is plasma. The crystal, you said your dad gave it to you. Yeah, he said it was a really rare crystal. That thing, some mechanics talked among themselves. That thing has limited energy, unlimited energy, and it's clean as well. If we can mass produce this, wonder if the dad has one. This kid wants to be a hero, so he'll probably use this as a support item. But the dad, he seems to work like a normal person. Okay. Kid, do you know where your dad is right now? Oh, yeah, he's at home. Some of the mechanics went home with Deku that day, and the dad gladly gave over his green one. He never really wanted to be a hero. It's just never his style, you know? Because that thing, he's made one. He made a lightsaber before, but the raw power? No, too much power. Way too much. He just held it and laid it dormant. He could use his quirk really well, but he just didn't need a lightsaber. He kind of grew out of it. And if he was a hero, he would just be overworked. Ironic, isn't it? And so, Deku... Oh, sorry, I need to sneeze. No, I don't. And so, the news were all over this crystal and Deku's family soon became the spotlight. A new element is found. This family heirloom, made by in the Midoriya household. Yes, in the Midoriya household has unlimited power and unlimited energy. Everyone was around Deku when he went, Izuku when he went to school. Is it true? Yeah, is it true? Do you have one? Izuku held out here. Yep, my one's in here. I still can't get it out. What's that? Is it a sword? One of the teachers said, you know, you're not allowed swords. Izuku said, no, but yeah, you know what? It is a sword. Yes, a sword. Nothing else. A sword. The teacher thought that was pretty weird that he said, yes, a sword. Nothing else but a sword. And that day, Izuku was the spotlight at school. He had pretty good grades and he had learned some new abilities about his quirk. He had precognition, which was amazing. And he could also levitate things. He also learned how to push and pull things. His mum thought that she had contributed a bit to that. So, let's skip a year. I'm going to just tell you notable parts. And also I'm going to cover the entrance exam and end it there. So, Deku was going home one day when he saw a dog attacking him. About to attack him. He held out his hand in defense, wanting to push the dog away, but then the dog suddenly submitted. Just like that. Deku was so puzzled. As everyone looked around him, they said, whoa, you can tame beasts and animals. That's pretty neat. Deku practiced this many times as he asked his parents for a cat. And every time the cat would get rowdy, it would work. So another thing that had happened, one time him and Bakugo had kind of gone into a fight about how his quirk can never save and only destroy. He was fighting, but he got a bit too cocky and was getting surrounded. Deku came in to help as he jumped in, wanting to break his fall with maybe like a hover to push down on the floor and like levitate himself down. He pushed down on the floor and everyone, including Bakugo, went back. He called this move repulse. Bakugo was astonished at the raw power in this and was kind of angry. Damn nerd. I mean, he does have a good quirk, but mine's better. Mine has more raw power, Bakugo thought, but after the day, he knew Deku also had raw power on his side. Bakugo started getting distant with Deku. It wasn't that they didn't talk, they did, it's just Bakugo kept to his own a bit more and had his own group of friends. While Deku had his own group of friends too. There was a girl that he sort of liked. Her name was Hana, and she didn't. It seemed like she didn't have a quirk. Yeah, didn't have a quirk. Wink, wink. Leia, what? Huh? Where'd that come from? Anyway, him and Hana had been on a couple dates. They're not sisters, don't worry. Luke and Leia. What? And so, as they'd been on a couple dates, they actually got a bit close. Every now and again, Hana and Deku would go to each other's houses. And not because I don't want to get into it. Yeah. Maybe. Why not yet? No, they're too. Anyway, let's skip that. You didn't hear any of that. Also, wear earphones just in case. You know, I can't control my mouth, but hey, I try. So, Deku, Hana, and another person called Koji. Yep, from another series. They were three best friends, and so Koji's quirk was that he could eat anything. He was a bit overweight, but that was the side effect of his quirk. He was actually really fit though. Like he could run 3 miles and then he would get tired. It wasn't that he was unhealthy, it's just his quirk, you know? Now, the day of the entrance exam. Deku, or the day when My Hero Academia actually starts. Deku is not bullied. Why would he? You know, he has friends in this timeline. More friends. He has a lot of respect on his name. Like, so much respect that he could probably start a gang if he really wanted to. And yeah, so Deku's notebook would never be chucked out. And yeah, he wouldn't be all depressed and be like, oh, I'm not going to be a hero. I wish All Might was here. And when the sludge villain attacked, he would try to push the sludge villain back. But it wouldn't do much, only like a bit of blobs. As the sludge villain got on his leg, he thought, yeah, I'll use it. It is a villain. As he pulled his lightsaber toward him and ignited it. The sludge villain was taken aback. Whoa. A fire quirk, I think. That's a good As Deku sliced off the part that was attached to his leg, he said, "Fire quirk my ass," as he lunged at the sludge villain, slicing and dicing. The sludge villain was now just charred pieces, but he didn't aim for the eyes or anything. That would just be too brutal. The sludge villain had got so small that Deku, using a force repulse, splattered him. It wasn't dead, as Sludge Villain was still talking, but he incapacitated it. Deactivating his lightsaber just before All Might came, All Might said, "Whoa, kid, what happened here?" Deku said, it kind of attacked me, so using my quirk, I defeated it. Huh, that's a handy quirk. What is it? Deku had learned a way to just improvise and said, well, I can push and pull things, you know? And at a whim, I can push things away from me, and I have this support item I made. He activates his lightsaber, and he just swings it a bit. All Might says, whoa, can I hold that? As he holds it, he says, oh, heavier than I thought. All Might tries to hold the handle, the lightsaber bit, when Deku says, no, it's plasma. All Might froze and said, you made this? Ha ha ha, you have potential. Well, thank you for defeating this villain. Now I have to go. Like a hero! As All Might collected them, Deku said, do you think I'll be able to become a hero? That was Deku's one question. He didn't ask for the autograph, as in this timeline, he wouldn't be that big of a fan as All Might, since he doesn't have the raw power of All Might. He might, but he doesn't have it yet. And also, if you guys didn't know, Deku's dad is Luke Skywalker. So, yeah. If you don't like that, fight me in the comments. I dare you. And so basically, Deku would ask All Might, can I become a hero? And All Might would say yes, because he can. As All Might would go to the police office, Mako would never be saved. All Might would never get one for. Mira would get one for. I'll do a spin-off on that if you guys want. Tell me in the comments below. I actually like interacting with you. I will reply since I have nothing better to do in this pandemic. Yeah. So, Deku would train with her, on his physical body. Koji wouldn't train that much since he couldn't, but would learn to eat metal. That would come in handy though. And so yes, if you didn't know, Koji and the 8 Precepts member who can eat anything, they're related. That'll come in later, and that might actually kick him off that might actually give him a prime target for the mole. I mean, you're related. It's kinda dodgy, right? And so Hana, while training, Deku would throw a punch since they would learn martial arts a bit, like Uraraka. And as Hana was about to get hit from behind, she would dodge, and Deku would be surprised. Whoa, that's just like what I did. Hana would be also surprised, and Deku would say, "Hold on." As he meditated, more music. Oh, my throat's dead. Anyway, as he meditated, he could sense the force. That's what he called it in Hana. It sometimes turned off and on. It fluctuated. Like, one moment he could sense it was quite powerful, the other moment it just wasn't there. For the next 4 months, let's say, Deku would teach Hana just the basics. Hana had the innate ability to hide her quirk. I'm about to sneeze. Don't get the coronavirus. Anyway, Deku would teach Hana the basics, and she would have an innate ability on the pull of the force. She wasn't much for fighting, but she could defend herself. Now, come the entrance exam. When Deku wouldn't fall, and so no Uraraka, and Deku, Hana, and Koji would make their way into the entrance exam. Now, in the written test, Deku would still exceed since he's the best in this timeline because, well, he has the Force, and if you really think about it, he's a Skywalker. And so, yeah, Deku would still want to. Well, no, he wouldn't actually want to talk to Uraraka, but he wanted to talk to Hana. But they wouldn't be in the same area. In this time, Deku and Bakugo go a bit further apart. Well, actually they're closer since Bakugo doesn't say jump off a roof every now and again. And so, yep. And so in the entrance exam, they say 3, 2, 1, go. Deku would shout out, "I'm sorry," as he thrust his hand to the ground using a force repulse. Everyone would fall on the floor. Like everyone, and Deku would just run like hell. Everyone would say, "Oh, my head, oh, what kind of quirk is that?" And he'd get up, and some people started to get up again, some were just disorientated, and 1 or 2 were actually knocked out. Some of the printers would see this and say, would you qualify that as cheating? I wouldn't say it's cheating, just kind of a halt. Let's see though. But we might need to take some points off for that. Deku would say, "I'm really sorry," as a 3.2 robot would come up to him. Deku would activate his lightsaber as he said to All Might that he made it himself, and he is also applying for the support items. And that will come in later. As it swung a punch, it was so slow to Deku, he sliced it through the abdomen and stabbed it. As the thing went in, as a 1-pointer went in for a punch, Deku caught it. As Deku levitated it, he sliced its head off. He would continue just racking in points. He would get around 53 as the 0-pointer came. Deku would say, "I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me. I'm one with the Force and the Force is with me." As Deku would meditate, he would hold out his hand. More music. As Deku would hold out his hand, he could just feel the strain. The Force was barely penetrating through this monstrosity that was this 0-pointer robot. He held out his hand as it slightly budged. That was just enough time though. As Deku kept on holding out his hand, he lifted it up. Everyone stared in shock as Deku, with 2 hands and so much strain on his body that he could feel his veins about to pop, said, "Run!" as he clenched his fists. The zero-pointer robot instead of turning into a ball, just slightly dented it a bit as Deku fell unconscious, saving Uraraka as the time was up. Deku would wake up in the hospital and say, "Oh, I'm late for the support items," as he would run there. "Okay," Powerhead said, "You just made it. Now, I want you to make a support item for a person with a water quirk. Begin. Put all of your support items that you have made in the past on this table, and we will evaluate it. Thank you." And so, Deku would say, support item, water cannon. Okay. Deku would start to make a water cannon using his levitation quirk. He would make it. Deku learns mechanic because he is pretty famous, honestly, all things considered. Deku would meditate as he had all of the things for the cannon on the table. I would do music, but I swear I will crack my voice, so just pretend there's Star Wars music coming. And so, the water cannon would form as Deku would look at it. It wasn't as good as he wanted it to be, but it was decent. As Deku would make some last-minute arrangements, he said, okay, regulator, working, propulsions, working, filter. Oh, why did I add a filter? Anyway, that probably give me some extra marks. Working. Okay. Now, time's up. As Deku would take his lightsaber back, they would say, "You must be Izuku Midoriya. We've heard a lot about you. We're willing to say that we are giving you a scholarship. We would like to give you a scholarship, as this gem inside has limitless energy. If we could siphon just a bit." Deku was hesitant, but he would say, "Once or if I get into UA, I'll come back to you on that. As this, it really could put budgeting on UA." As Deku would go home, Hana would say, "Oh, you're finally here," as Hana waited for him. It was only like an hour, as she was in the med room. "Oh, Hana, how'd you do?" "I don't think I did that well. I got 23 points. She looked quite sad, and Koji had already gone home since he wasn't hurt. Koji said that he said hi for him, and that he said that he got around 61-ish. Deku said, "Wow, that's amazing. Are you sure you got 23? "Yeah. Using my push ability and the pull ability, I was able to pull some of their heads off, but it was really strenuous." Deku said, "I'm sorry." As Hana and him went home, they kissed each other goodbye as Deku looked down. He honestly wanted Hana to pass, but her quirk was just so weird. It kept on turning on and off as if it wasn't there. And for him, a normal push was easy, but for her, she had to turn her quirk on and then try and push. Deku looked down but then, a week later, Deku got a letter. All Might said, I am here like a hero. Congratulations, you came second place." Deku smiled, brightened and said, "Second place, that's amazing. Wait, who came first?" "A student called Katsuki Bakugan. I believe he goes to your school." Deku said, "Oh, Kachan? Oh yeah, he does." As All Might would congratulate Deku would look at the results. "Oh, so the rescue points. I got, 30. Oh, that's neat. What did Bakugo get?" "He got 2 more than you did. It's unfortunate, but you did really well, all things considered." And not to mention that you also passed the written exam with flying colours. And due to your scores on the support items, we're glad to give you a high scholarship. You have done well in all three aspects, and the only one to do this before you was me. Ha ha ha. Because I'm a hero. Endeavour came close, but heroes are heroes. As Deku would smile, you say a scholarship. Doesn't that mean, yep, you don't have to pay for a thing? And also, but you'll be having to schedule it in some support items, so you might be missing a couple lessons and staying in late. But Deku said, oh, that's fine, honestly. As Deku said the good news to his mom, he called Hana just to check up on her. Hana felt, well, Hana was, how do you say this? I still can't say it. Elated? Yeah, elated, that's it. Hana was elated as she said, I passed! Deku could hear her. Deku and Inko and his dad could hear her, and she wasn't even on speaker. I passed! I got rescue points! I mean, I did come third to last, but I still passed! Deku would be elated and said, wow, really? Wait, what class are you in? I'm in 1B. Deku would frown a bit. I'm in 1A. Hana would be silent for a bit and say, well, at least we both passed, right? Yeah, we both passed. And also Koji's in 1A. Oh, neat. As Deku would hang up, Hana and Deku would meet up. And as well as Koji. Me and Koji in 1A and you're in 1B. So, what does that mean? Hana would say, why don't we be meeting up every once in a while, you know? Like, maybe, let's start at Koji's house. Koji would, blush a bit and say, can we not? Deku would say, what? Is there something you're hiding? Like, funny, like, jokingly. Koji would say, no, it's just not the biggest. Deku would say, oh, and then say, okay, you guys can come at my house, Koji, if you want, you can have a sleepover. Koji would be elated. Really? Really? Okay, then. Yeah, sure, thanks, man. Really? You don't know how much this means to me. Deku would smile and say, nah, it's cool, I have a spare bedroom. A lot of money we made over 15 billion yen. Because if you really think about it, he's a Skywalker, fight me. And so, yeah. Now, Deku would go to sleep, and Koji would also go to sleep. They would sleep in different rooms, and as they woke up, it was the first day in UA High. And that's where I'm going to end. If you like this video at all, just like it. Let's have a discussion in the comments below. If you want to threaten me, you can. I probably will read it, honestly, knowing that I have nothing better to do with my time. And if you subscribe, well, all I'm saying is